what happens now with instant replay and defensive and offensive pass interference, Mark? Walk me through what happened at the meeting and what happens next.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I mean, if people, I don't know how closely people have been following sort of the administrative detail part of that, and that's what we're really on. Nothing's going to change. In the big picture, nothing is going to change. What was voted in March was that, pass interference can be reviewable by replay, whether it's called or not called on the field. That's not changing. What happened in March was sort of the administrative part that was set up was that it would be a coach's challenge for the first 28 minutes in each half, and for the final 2 minutes of each half, you as a coach could not challenge interference. It would have to be, the replay assistant buzzing down and saying, hey, we should look at this. And the thinking behind that was that, we don't want the coach throwing a challenge flag on a Hail Mary, ball thrown up in the end zone, 10 guys there, everyone jostling for position, shoving each other, jump ball. We don't want challenge flags thrown for that. Fast forward now to May. Al Riveron has had a time to talk to the clubs. What people are raising sort of as the concern is that now in the final 2 minutes of each half, when it's the replay assistant doing it, how many times is the game going to be stopped? You say you have a 2nd and 12 play where there's a 2-yard pass, a little dump off, and there's contact. Now, as a coach, you're probably not going to challenge that. It's a 2-yard play on 2nd and 12. It's not a big play. But if you're the replay assistant and you see that, you have to buzz down and say, hey, let's look at that, because that's your job. So that's the flip side of what they now don't want is too many stoppages in the last 2 minutes. So now the owners have authorized the competition committee to go back and look at it. If the competition committee feels like it all should be under coach's challenge, that's what will happen. But it's sort of this balancing act now of what's the thing we want to avoid the most. Do we want to avoid the problems with the Hail Mary? Do we want to avoid too many stoppage of plays? And I think what the competition committee will do is say, you just can't challenge a Hail Mary. But it's just sort of the implementation now. How do you make this work in a way that's not going to create problems and not going to create confusion?
Well, I mean, let's take it one at a time here. So coaches would be fine with having it left up to them to challenge something in the last 2 minutes, and
I don't think so. No, I don't think coaches are fine with.
I don't think so, because now it puts things on them, Mark, to have one in their back pocket still.
And I think that's okay with the league, because now and you're sort of skeptic and you go back and say, what was the purpose here? Okay, the purpose was to make sure that you don't have a reoccurrence of what happened in an NFC title game with the Saints. But now is the purpose just not to have a reoccurrence of it, or is the purpose not to have a reoccurrence of it where the officials and the league are to be blamed? Because if that happens again, and it can't be challenged because the coach doesn't have a challenge left, all of a sudden now the blame is not on the officials and not on the league as much as on the coach. And the question is, why didn't you save a challenge? So, yes, now your strategy, if this is the way it goes, and it's not certain yet, but if this is the way it goes, if you're a coach, you certainly have to keep a challenge in your back pocket virtually till the final play of the game, because interference is such a big play. It can be a 50, 60-yard play. You cannot have a missed call that you're not allowed to challenge, that you can't challenge because you don't have one left. So, yeah, it changes the strategy. The coaches don't want that. But, again, sort of the big picture and balancing out this problem versus that problem, the Hail Mary problem versus the too many stoppages in the last 2 minutes, and also sort of the, who's going to get the blame if this falls apart? Well, if it's all put on the coaches and the strategy of how you allocate your challenges, that's sort of a whole different dynamic if this were to ever happen again.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download The Rich Eisen Show app.